Greetings, YouTube. Gina Haspel has spent 32 years working for the CIA, and she's very likely to become the head of the CIA quite shortly. They're probably going to nominate her, I'd rather confirm her in the very near future. Maybe even by the time you see this video. I'm filming this on the 15th. She used to be in charge of a black site in Southeast Asia. And as part of being in charge of a black site, they interrogated people. And in the process of interrogating people, they tortured them. She was in charge of the site. People were tortured on that site while she was in charge of it. Gina Haspel has blood on her hands. And she should in no way, shape, or form be in charge of the CIA. She should in fact be in prison as a war criminal. She should spend the rest of her life in prison. At the end of World War II, the United States government and its allies prosecuted Japanese officers who waterboarded U.S. troops. The ones that were found guilty were executed. Now, I'm opposed to execution, but the point is that the United States government recognized in 1945 that waterboarding was torture. It hasn't changed since 1945. It's always been torture. It's still torture. Though Gina Haspel and the other people involved in the torture of people under the name of the United States government in the 21st century are not the first to engage in this, of course. The United States government tortured people via waterboarding during the Spanish-American conflict when we were involved in the Philippines. Yeah, the Spanish-American conflict always makes people think that it did not involve the Philippines, but we were in the Philippines for a really long time, and we crushed the Philippine people. We were the fascist boot that landed on their face again and again. And in an effort to crush them, we tortured people. It is also the conflict where the term gook arrived at. We did not actually invent that during the Vietnam era. We used it, we invented it during that particular conflict in the Philippines. And it's the reason that the Philippine people often don't like the United States, because they remember, even if the United States government doesn't teach its students, that we were involved in that conflict. My great-grandfather was involved in that conflict. I don't know what he did. I never will. I imagine it was ugly. But Gina Haspel should not be in charge of the CIA at all. And the fact that she's going to sail through, the fact that there are Democrats supporting her, nauseates me. You know, Democrats, the group that the Republicans call socialists? Yeah. The Democrats, by and large, are not liberal progressives. They are, at best, Republican light. They are conservatives. It's just that the Republicans are so far to the right that people seem to forget that our Democratic Party is conservative. It has been moving to the right for the last 40 or 50 years. But Gina Haspel has no right to be in charge of the CIA, and she should spend the rest of her life rotting in prison, because she was in charge of a black site that tortured people, which means the responsibility lay squarely on her shoulders and her bloody hands.